Greasy flow, Pinot Grigio, on a litty boat. Where your baby go? This nigga gotta find a Nemo. Here we go, say she need a poke. I got a big ego. Why you toying with me, Calico? This nigga funny, mo. Better finish your honeycomb. Selection visions from an unknown. Always hovering above my dome. Like me and my brother, though. Try to be modest, but I got it honestly. Nigga been putting in work. But you gotta acknowledge that woman beside you when she ain't put bullet in the skirt.
Yes.
Demographic of the people thinking that it's heaven after we leave.
Come on in, smash that heart button, smash that like button, subscribe, let's go.
We spitting knowledge in degrees, revealing minds in the dream. No wonder we building pies with a team. As the realest guys in the scene, yeah, I mean. The ancestors don't play about me. One blood, one blood, one blood. Oh, 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 oh. I suggest you keep the energy from all around me. One blood, one blood, one blood, one blood. The ancestors don't play about me. One blood, one blood, one blood. Oh, 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 oh. I suggest you keep the energy from all around me.
Put your nines and let me know where you from. Let's go.
Electric slide across the galaxy. Peanut butter, Wale, Pele, leather fit so magically. Chains, pyramid rings, we move accordingly. Most importantly, to my ancestors as they rest in peace. Connect with my peeps as I speak life through these melodies. What can I say? So long way from catching felonies, just trying to get paid and get laid. That be my therapy in the shade. Pink lemonade cigar, that energy. Rest in pieces to every one of my foes and my frenemies. I hear your little chats in case you think it don't get back to me. I just level up and these toxic fucks be my remedy. A headshot for you and your boys, we call that the Kennedy.
Listen.
The ancestors don't play about me. One blood, one blood, one blood. Oh, 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 oh. I suggest you keep the energy from all around me. One blood, one blood, one blood, one blood. The ancestors don't play about me. One blood, one blood, one blood, one blood. I suggest you keep the energy from all around me.
Yes.
One blood, one blood, one blood.
Make sure y'all share the 10 groups right now. Strength, no weakness.
No weakness.
No weakness. No muscle.
Look at that. Flex. And you gotta work on it.
Yes. Yes. Dua, Nani. Dua. We are back. Welcome to the Lighthouse. It's your boy. I am your host, Jamal Milton. While you on here, smash that like button, smash that heart button, hit that subscribe button so you can get the notifications when we come on Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Your boy is in the building. I got you, African DNA, absolutely. Let's go. So before I begin, I want to shout out my first 9, and then we're gonna get the energy right. Exactly. Matter of fact, let's get the energy right first, and then I'm gonna shout out the first 9. Let's go. Get your Tibet singing bowls out. Let's charge this water. 432 hertz. Feel the vibes. I can't stress to you how important it is to make sure you're charging your water daily. You're not just out here, taking on the elements, as they say. Make sure you're charging your water to the right frequency. You don't want that dirty, disgruntled water going through your body. You know what I mean? You don't want that stress water going through your body. Get you a Tibet singing bowl, some sort of vibrational tool to where you can get your stuff adjusted. You know what I'm saying? We got those in the Lighthouse store, by the way. If you need those, we got the Tibet singing bowls if you want to order yours. Let's keep it moving. I want to shout out my first 9 first and foremost. First 9 we got on board. Sonia Sunshine was on here early, 8:30 a.m. Shout out to Sonia Sunshine. Early. Reginald Thomas at number 2. We got Wit Fitness at number 3. We got Enter 999 at number 4. We got Mark Blake at number 5. We got Body by Brazil, number 6 out of Cleveland, Ohio. We got Latifah Forster. How many is that, fam? I lost count. That's good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, we got 2 more. Tia Hamilton. I see you. Shout out to Tia Hamilton. Welcome. And lastly, but certainly not least, out of Long Island, we got John Miles. What up, John? Long Island in the building. We are definitely international. Shout out to everybody from the Lighthouse. Y'all know how we give it up. Today we're going to be talking about something real special today. I think it's important. For reference purposes, we're going to be reading out of the teachings of Ptahhotep today. We'll be reading from the teachings of Ptahhotep today, the oldest book in the world. If you don't have it, I highly advise you go to Amazon, pay the $7 or $10 or whatever it is, get this in your hand. This is the oldest book in the world. No, this is not the Bible. This is not the Bible. This is not the Quran. This is not the Torah. This is the oldest book in the world. Be advised. So, today, what we're going to be talking about is, many of you who have awakened or, have tapped into a higher level of consciousness, you're trying to change the universe around you by sharing the knowledge, right? You're trying to help people by planting seeds, let them know what it is that you've been studying, right? You're trying to help to cultivate their consciousness and just let them know where you're going, right? We've been studying this for a while now. And I know many of you are probably embarking into a space where you're interacting more with people and being more vocal about where it is that you stand in terms of knowledge, history, right? African spirituality, the Kemetic sciences, whatever it is that you're studying as far as your enlightenment that is elevating you. You're probably in that space if you're here where you're ready to start sharing it with other people. But what's happening is you're probably experiencing some pushback, rightfully so, right? You're trying to wake people up. Some people still haven't awakened, and those who have not awakened at this moment in time is really, really engraved in their spirit and in their soul. So it's a lot more difficult. It's going to, as time goes on, it's going to become a lot more difficult, right, to help people to shift into a higher level of consciousness if they haven't already. Does that make sense? Because if all of these experiences that they've experienced from COVID, right, to the natural disasters and all the different things that happen in the world, the shutdowns, the economical collapse, all these type of things, right? If this wasn't enough, right, to wake you up now, right, then you're dealing with a really, really bad case, right? You're dealing with a terminally ill spiritual being, right? Spiritually, terminally ill, meaning they're probably going to go to the grave with this level of consciousness and be stuck there. They're not going to elevate much further, in life, in terms of spirituality and ascension, right? So for you to come into play, what you're probably experiencing is a bunch of back and forthness and, some of you even arguing, you know what I mean? So we're going to talk about the ethics of an argument today. And we're going to be reading out of the teachings of Ptahhotep. We're talking about the ethics of an argument, meaning there's a code, there's a moral and ethical code that you should stand by, right, when dealing with someone, and or if you're going back and forth for the sake of argument, right? So now, this particular excerpt, and I love this one. It's one of my favorite ones. It's been able to keep me grounded for a number of years. These excerpts that we're going to be going over. I want to provide some context, right, before we actually get into it. So, Ptahhotep is getting ready to pass away. Okay, Ptahhotep is getting ready to pass away, and when you're on your deathbed, you start thinking about some of the things that you want to leave behind. You start thinking about your legacy, right? So this particular excerpt that we're going to be reading is a message to his son. It's a message to his son. his final message, right, to his son and what is to be passed on. Pretty much rules of engagement while he's no longer here. So I'm going to read some of this and want to go in its entirety. That way, we don't get anything out of context and everybody can understand what's going on. We don't do things like they did in the church where they skip over verses and all. And we're not finna do that. We're going to go right through this and just pay attention and listen to what's going on. So the instruction of Ptahhotep. The instruction of the governor of his city, the vizier Ptahhotep, in the reign of the king of Upper and Lower Egypt, Isosi, living forever to the end of time. A. The governor of his city, the vizier Ptahhotep, he said, O prince, my lord, the end of life is at hand. Old age descendeth upon me, feebleness cometh, and childishness is renewed. He that is old lieth down in misery every day. The eyes are small, the ears are deaf, energy is diminished, the heart hath no rest, the mouth is silent, and he speaketh no word. The heart stoppeth, and he remembereth not yesterday. The bones are painful throughout the body. Good turneth unto evil, all taste departeth. These things doeth old age for mankind, being evil in all things. The nose is stopped, and he breatheth not for weakness, whether standing or sitting. Command me, thy servant, therefore, to make over my princely authority to my son. Let me speak unto him the words of them that hearken to the counsel of men of old time. Moving on. Those that hearkeneth unto the gods, I pray thee, let this thing be done, that sin may be banished from among persons of understanding, that thou may enlighten the lands, right? So basically, pretty much people who understand, right? He wants to make sure if you guys are enlightened, you understand. He wants to put you in a place where you're not walking in a sinful nature or doing bad things, essentially. Said the majesty of this God, instruct him then in the words of old time, may he be a wonder unto the children of princes, that they may enter and hearken with him. Make straight all their hearts, and discord with him without causing weariness. B. Here begin the proverbs of fair speech. Here we go. Spoken by the hereditary chief, the holy father, beloved of the God, the eldest son of the king of his body, the governor of his city, the vizier Ptahhotep, when instructing the ignorant in the knowledge of exactness in fair speaking, the glory of him that obeyeth, the shame of him that transgresseth not, that transgresseth them. He said unto his son, now we're going to get into what he told him to do. Be not proud because thou art learned, but discourse with the ignorant man as with the sage. For no limit can be set to skill, neither is there any craftsman that possesses full advantages. Fair speech is more rare than the emerald that is found by slave maidens on the pebbles. This is the first thing that he lays out for his son. He's basically letting him know, just because you know a little something, right? If you're smart and you consider yourself to be learned, right? Don't look at people who are ignorant as if they are less than, essentially, is what this is saying. Talk to them the same way you talk to people who know a lot. Why? Because there are things that people who you consider to be ignorant under your own perception, there are things that they know that you may not know, regardless of how much you think you know. This is the oldest book in the world providing us with wisdom, letting you know, basically in a nutshell, that the man who thinks he knows it all really knows nothing at all, right? If you consider yourself to be learned, as it says, right? But discourse with the ignorant man as with the sage. There is no limit on skill. Neither is there a limit on craftsmanship, right? Nobody has the full advantage. All this talk right now, when we're talking about Kanye and fair speech and stuff like that, they was already talking that, look, in the oldest book in the world, they're talking about freedom of speech, fair speech, right? the ability to be able to speak your piece, speak your mind. They're talking about how rare that is, right? It's more rare. It says it's more rare than the emerald that is found by slave maidens on the pebbles, right? It's almost like winning a lottery ticket. Essentially, is what that is. It's like winning a lottery ticket, right? The fair maiden were these people were poor, right? This is what they're saying here when they're talking about how it's more common to find an emerald, a jewel amongst a slave than to actually be given the opportunity to be able to speak fairly and have fair speech, right? Let's go to number 2. It says, if thou find an arguer talking, one that is well disposed and wiser than you, right? I like this part right here. Let thine arms fall, bend thy back, be not angry with him if he's angry not with thee, if he agree not with thee, right? Refrain from speaking evilly, oppose him not at any time when he speaketh. If he address thee as one ignorant of the matter, thine humbleness shall bear away his contentions. Now, I'm an eyewitness to this. I am an eyewitness to this. I've actually been able to do this. Not even eyewitness. I've actually done this just yesterday. And this is the reason why I'm speaking on this today. Because I want to show you how this thing works. A lot of times when you guys are learning, right? When you guys learn something new, especially those of you who are moving into leadership, those of you who want to share the knowledge online, things of that nature, right? You're going to get some pushback and people who talk crazy online, right? And it's almost going to seem like as if they just want to destroy what it is you're trying to do. It's going to seem like they just want to hate, right, on the knowledge that you drop, right? And you probably wonder, like, what is that? Why are they acting like that? If I'm just dropping history, if I'm just dropping truthful stuff, right, with context, if I'm dropping references, basic history, not even my opinion, but things that actually happen. And people give us pushback for whatever reason off of the truth. You have to ask yourself, what is wrong? What's going on? Why are they doing that? Why are so many people acting like that? Right? So I want to tap into the reasons why. So really what's happening is what you think these individuals, these people are actually trying to do as far as tear down, right? It's not actually what you think it is. A lot of times these people are actually trying to learn. Watch this. Many people don't actually know how to learn. They don't know how to ask questions. They don't know how to go to somebody who is more learned than them and sit at their feet without trying to criticize them. You see? Sometimes the way people ask questions and find out information is through critiquing, right? Sometimes that's their only way to learn. And this is something that I had to learn as a leader, that, you know what? You can't jump down everybody's throat, right? Because they don't know what you know. Right? You can't let the frustration overwhelm you because they don't know what you know, and their way of actually learning is sometimes by destroying. It's like, you ever seen a child and you give them a toy and they just break it immediately? First day, they broke the toy. They broke it. First day. Do you know why that happens? Scientifically, they say children who break toys are smarter. Children who break toys like to figure out how it works. These are the ones who become engineers, mechanics, right? Scientists. These are the ones who understand the chemical makeup of how things are actually put together because they took the time to break it. So what's happening is when people online or people that you are talking to, right, are asking questions, or it seems like they're insulting you in some way, shape, form, or fashion, they're literally trying to break you. Right? And you have to understand that they're trying to break you, right? And your challenge, your charge is not to break. Don't break, right? So let's delve into this a little bit more on how to handle people like this, right? It says, let me go back to the beginning of it really quick. It says, if thou find an arguer talking, one that is well disposed and wiser than you, it says, let thine arms fall, Meaning, you know how when somebody clearly know a little bit more than you, and you start doing this, like, right? That's a sign of being reserved, right? Body language, right? You holding on to your heart, right? You don't want to open up, right? Ptahhotep, in the oldest book in the world, is telling you if somebody is saying something and you feel, right, that they're saying something that's smart, instead of having pushback, open up. Let your arms fall. Bend your back, meaning lean in. Lean in and listen to what they're saying. It behooves you, right? Refrain from speaking evilly. Oppose him not at any time when he speaketh. Just because you disagree doesn't mean you got to say that you disagree. Let the man talk. Let the woman talk, right? Refrain from speaking evilly, right? If he address thee as one ignorant of the matter, thine humbleness shall bear away his contentions. Major key right here. Major key. This is the only time when we really co-sign being humble. This is when we co-sign. Just watch this. We co-sign being humble when you don't know it all, right? A lot of people say, oh yeah, you know, since you up there, you know a lot, then you ought to be humble. No, you humble yourself, right? When you don't know it all so that you can learn. Because by being humble, this person going back and forth, right, with you, is going to say, you know what? They're going to realize, oh, you probably know more than me, but you didn't jump down my throat. Even though you know more, it doesn't give you a pass to jump down somebody's throat because you're a little bit more intelligent in the matter. Humble yourself. Let that person speak, even if they talking something crazy, even if they talking stupid. Hear them out. Let them say what they need to say, because if you don't actually let them say what they need to say, they won't say what they were going to say, right? You got to let them say that so that you can correct them when it's time. But allow them to say what it is they're going to say. Get it out. Get it all out, right? So that you can deal with the content and the subject matter accordingly. If you cut people off, you won't hear the full story. Then you're going back and forth, and now they can alter their message. They can alter their story mid-conversation. It wasn't really what they was going to say, but because you cut them off and you gave away the intelligence that you actually have, right? They didn't finish what they were going to say. So you couldn't finish it. You couldn't finish the dialogue. You understand what I'm saying? You couldn't correct them because you didn't allow them to make their mistake. You cut them off, right? We have to stop doing that. We have to stop doing that. So this is the oldest book in the world teaching us how to argue, right? How to go back and forth the right way. Number 3, if thou find an arguer talking, thy fellow, one that is within thy reach, keep not silence when he saith aught that is evil, right? So now we're talking about somebody that's actually on your level. You ready? It says, keep not silence when he saith aught that is evil, so shalt thou be wiser than he. Great will be the applause on the part of the listeners, and thy name shall be good in the knowledge of princes. In other words, when you find somebody that's on the same level than you, right? Same level as you, steel sharpens steel, right? This is your peer now. This is your peer now. This is a different person, a peer. When you find somebody that's on your level and your peer, and you know it's a corroborating, if you see this person doing wrong, if you see them speaking evil, right? Don't allow them to do that, right? It's one thing if they're talking knowledge and we're discordant, but if you see them talking evil, you know how sometimes, you know, you see people and you be like, yo, that's your man? Hold on, is that your man? Right? Like we talking about Kanye West, right? When you have people that just talk craziness and you're like, yo, right? And nobody says anything. They're like, oh yeah, just look, right? Or your homie, right? The people that you're looking up to, your girlfriend, you know she talking reckless, but you don't say nothing. The oldest book in the world is telling you, if you hear evil talk, you got to shut that down immediately. You got to shut that down immediately, right? And then what's going to happen is when you hear the evil talk, right? It's telling you right here, great will be the applause on the part of the listeners, and thy name shall be good in the knowledge of princes, meaning people who actually can do something, people who actually have power, will realize your moral and ethical code, right? The ones that actually matter. See what I'm saying? The ones that actually matter are going to be able to shine grace on you. You see what I'm saying? Let's keep it moving. It says, get some of these comments out the way real quick. If thou find an arguer talking, here we have a poor man now, right? Somebody who's considered to be lowly. In that time, they were lower than you, right? If thou find an arguer talking, a poor man, that is to say, not thine equal, be not scornful toward him because he is lowly. Let him alone, then shall he confound himself. Question him, not to please thine heart, neither pour out thy wrath upon him that is before thee. It is shameful to confuse a mean mind. Ooh, major key. Shameful to confuse a mean mind. If thou be about to do that which is in thine heart, overcome it as a thing rejected of princes. Now, this is hardcore right here. This is hardcore right here. It's basically, you can judge a person by how they treat people that can't do anything for them. That's how you judge the measure of a man or a woman. How do you act, right, to people who are less than you, to people who are poorer than you, or people who can't do nothing, can't do something for you? That's what this is about, right? And it's telling you, if you find a person like that and they're poor and they're arguing, right? Don't try to find different questions to antagonize this person, right? Don't try to find different ways to prove that you are right and have this person, you know what I'm saying, looking crazy and embarrassed, right? To me, I look at that almost like the shitty cuz situation, right? You know what I'm saying? When you got a brother or somebody who's like lower than you, right? You got to be careful how you talk to people like that, because these people take offense when you embarrass them. And sometimes it don't take much for you to embarrass them. It don't take much for you to embarrass people like that. Just by you being smart and being in their presence, right? You gotta be mindful of that, because these people get angry really, really fast. To broke and dumb, that's a tough place to be in. Broke and dumb, you don't want to be that, right? You don't want to be around that. You don't want to be around individuals who don't know what's going on and they broke. You got to be mindful of individuals like that. You put yourself in a bad space. They're trying to stop my cam. Let me see if I can get it back going. Hold on, family. They always trying me. You know how that go. All right, we back. You got to be mindful of that, because those are the people that run down on you. It don't matter whether you a king or queen. It don't matter. They will run down on you. You know, they got nothing better. They got nothing to lose. You see what I'm saying? They got nothing to lose. So you can't always be having these discords with people who are lower than you and be antagonizing with all these different questions, you know, that already know the answers to, just to prove them wrong or to make them look crazy. You see what I'm saying? Especially when you're in front of a crowd or different people, it's like there's a better way to handle that. You understand what I'm saying? So now, number 5, if you be a leader, now we're to the higher levels, right? Some of you are probably moving into leadership. This is important. If thou be a leader, as one directing the conduct of the multitude, endeavor always to be gracious, that thine own conduct be without defect. Great is truth, appointing a straight path. Never had it been overthrown since the reign of Osiris or Osar. One that oversteppeth the laws shall be punished. Overstepping is by the covetous man, but degradations bear off his riches. For the reason of his evil doing ceaseth not. For he saith, I will obtain by myself for myself, and say not, I will obtain because I am allowed. But the limits of justice are steadfast. It is that which a man repeateth from his father. That's major key. So now, this is showing you, even as a leader, right? If you overstep your boundaries, you'll be punished. Even as a leader, even when you get to the highest tier where you're teaching people, right? You can't overstep these laws. If you overstep the laws, you're punished, right? It offsets your accomplishments. You ever meet somebody and it's like, I don't care how rich this guy get. I don't care how rich this girl get. It ain't gonna fix her character and her moral and ethical code. I can't rock with them, right? Right? A lot of times we put moral and ethical code based on somebody's bank account, based on somebody's pockets, right? We based the good works based off of how much money somebody's got. And it has nothing to do with that. The oldest book in the world is telling you it ain't got nothing to do with that. The oldest book in the world is telling you that regardless of how much money somebody has, if they spirit and they soul ain't right, it offsets that. It offsets their riches. It counterweights it. It cancels out their riches. Right? It says, but degradations bear off his riches, for the season of his evil doing ceaseth not. He don't stop doing evil. No matter how rich this man or woman get, no matter how rich, right? They don't stop doing crazy stuff. You see? They say that no matter how much money you make, the more money you make, it makes you more of what you are. It makes you more of what you are. That's what this is about. If you were a giver while you were broke, when you get rich, you're still going to be a giver. If you were benevolent and a philanthropist while you were broke, you're going to be benevolent and a philanthropist when you're rich. If you was a whole asshole and you treated everybody like crap while you were broke, you best believe when that person get rich, they're going to be the most obnoxious, right, pompous person you can meet. They're going to treat people like crap even more. And it tells you why they do this. The book actually tells you. It says because they say, I will obtain by myself for myself. And saying, I will obtain because I'm allowed to. You understand? They move like that simply because they can. Right? They believe that they can. That's the reason why they do that. Man, this is such wisdom. If you're learning something today, smash that like, heart button right now and subscribe. This is from your ancestors. This ain't Jamal Milton's knowledge. This ain't my knowledge. This is your ancestors' knowledge. This is the breadcrumbs that they left for y'all on how to act. On how to act. Right? How to act right. Because this is the season for this right now. In the age of Aquarius where everybody's, learning new things, learning all these different things. This is the season for people to start bouncing ideas off of one another and being creative in this Renaissance period where we're learning, right? Relearning ourselves, Sankofa. This is the time where people are going to start acting up, right? Because everybody believed that they got, right? Their knowledge is greater than somebody else's and that everybody's isn't important. Everybody's piece is a story, right? Only their journey is what's important, right? Everybody else, you're going to hell. If you don't believe what I believe, you're going in the eternal lake of fire. It's a wrap for you. God is coming down. He's going to smite you because you don't know what I know, right? So in this season, it's good to have this type of intel, this type of guidance, right? If y'all look at my book, y'all. Y'all see all these pages folded in here? Y'all see all these pages folded in here? This is a manual. This is a life manual on how to act, right? They try to make the Kemites seem like they was these people without moral and ethical code. But from the first book in the world, they was telling us how to act. To this day. First book in the world. You see what I'm saying? What can you say when we have this in hand, right? When our ancestors was telling us what to do. They were telling us how to act a moral, ethical code. Anything that comes after this, I'm just going to chalk it up as a copy. Anything after this, because this is the first book. So anything after this, you must have got it from here, because I'm sure you read the first book before you wrote the second book. You had to have known the first book exists to even want to write a second book about moral and ethical code. So what made you Well, where did you get your laws from? Where did you get your knowledge from? If you didn't get it from here, the first book. Let's deal with that first and foremost. Let's deal with that. Right? These are things that you can literally read every day, right? You could just, and if you walk with it, chances are you're gonna run into something, right? That you can use out of this during the day. There's a step-by-step booklet for you to talk about it. That's true. I love it. A step-by-step booklet for you to get. Right? We got to get right. So, I highly advise that if you haven't already, that you go ahead and you purchase this book. You go ahead and you do that, ASAP. This is going to help you through a lot of situations. This is not just about, debates and dealing with, associates and people like that. This could also work in the relationships. Some of you guys, you know what I mean? There's so much of this going around right now that I see online, all of this bickering back and forth, boom, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, some of y'all just got to learn how to be quiet, man. You just got to learn how to be quiet and hear somebody out. You got to learn how to shut up. They ain't always got to prove a point. You know what I'm saying? You ain't always got to do that. Sometimes you just got to sit back and let them talk. This came about because I had a conversation, family, with somebody on Instagram, right? And they were, I had posted about the aliens and stuff like that, and showed them that black people built those pyramids and not aliens, right? So this young brother, he comes into, he comes on the comment section, and he started talking real crazy. You know what I'm saying? Basically insinuating that he knew more about, about the aliens coming and things of that nature. And he mentioned Osiris, right? That's how you kind of know where the person was at. Once he said Osiris, I was like, okay, so he's using the Greek names. So that put me in a space where I realized, hey, listen, okay, he's really not on my level. Just the fact that he's using those names, I know that he's not on my level. So I have to treat this a little bit differently, right? Instead of trying to play this brother, I say, listen, we could do this two ways. Send me the information in my inbox of what it is that you feel, that you have seen, right, about aliens, right, and your proof, right? Show me your proof. So in my inbox, he sent me this. Right, he sent me these images, right, of spaceships, right, and allegedly glyphs. And I said, bro, these aren't real glyphs, right? So I insinuated that on Instagram, right? You're not gonna find these comments because I didn't want to embarrass the brother, but I insinuated that on Instagram, and then in the inbox, I hit him up. And I let them know, just looking at this, you can tell that these glyphs are fake. These aren't actual glyphs, right? You can tell that these were computer animated designs just by looking at it. So I knew that this brother didn't have the ability to be able to have discernment, right? As you can see, this was yesterday at 12:19. He didn't have the ability and the skill set of discernment to be able to tell a real glyph from a fake one. So instead of publicly attacking him, I went to say, listen, I don't want to embarrass you, right? I don't want to embarrass you. I want to let you know that those glyphs are doctored, right? Those aren't real, and I want to help you, right? Let me help you connect the dots, right? And this brother's response was, yeah, I was just looking for some knowledge. I was just trying to learn. You understand what I'm saying? I was just trying to learn, and I could have easily took the route of trying to bash him because he came at me and, and was trying to say, like, I don't know what I'm talking about, right? I could have easily took the route of, embarrassing him publicly. But because I know that I'm in a position of leadership and I have 30,000 followers to maybe his 1,000, I'm going to affect way more people, right? More and more people are going to see that embarrassment on my end, right, than in his world, right? It's kind of like if I shoot you, I'm brainless. If you shoot me, you're famous type thing, right? But instead, I use grace, right? Use grace just from what this was telling us to do, right? Hear him out. Send me what it is that you have. Send me what it is that you have so we can discuss it. You see what I'm saying? And instead of putting him in the hot seat publicly for him to want to lash back out at me, right? Now we follow one another, right? And we built a relationship and he's learning. Do you understand? He realized the error in his ways, right? And now it could have went the other way around and we would have lost one, right? We would have lost one. You have to have some sense of awareness to where you understand that everybody doesn't learn the same way as you. And the way what we've been taught in this society is to break what it is, right, that we're interested in. We have to break it, right? He tried to break me, but because I didn't break, he respected the humbleness, right, of me and the graciousness. Because now he knows, wow, he probably went on my gram and was like, wow, he does this every day. This is really what he's about, right? You look at his page, that's not what he was about. Like he was trying to learn. So many of you are probably dealing with that with friends, family members, associates, coworkers, things of that nature, right? When they come at you, boom, 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 or if they speak, and when they speak sarcastically, you know, they give you that little laugh, boom, 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 and they make it seem like it's funny, but they really trying to play you or what it is that you believe, right? Or what it is that you know, right? Don't use that as an opportunity to now go at this person, right? There's other ways to show that you know what you know without blatantly throwing it at them, and especially in front of other people. They'll respect you more if you pull them to the side and say, hey, let me show you this real quick. You know what I'm saying? Let me show you this real quick. This is why I think the way I think. You know what I'm saying? If you can build, right? Presidential, that's what it's about. If you can build, right? Now, there's some people you won't be able to build. I'm not going to tell you this is going to work every single time. This is not foolproof, right? But what I am going to tell you, right? And when I say foolproof, right? Because you got to be a fool, right? It's not foolproof, right? But it does help facilitate conversations. It does help facilitate good, healthy relationships and good, healthy debates versus pissing matches, right? Intellectual masturbation, right? We don't want to have intellectual pissing matches with our brothers and sisters. That's not what we want to do. You see what I'm saying? Not the people that you want to build with. You want to go back and forth with oppressors and the tomahawks and the people that's oppressing you, cool. We don't plan on building with them anyway. But when you're dealing with your people, your brothers, your sisters, your peers, right? Your family members, right? People that you love. You see what I'm saying? There's a certain way to handle them. And you got to understand the sickness of indoctrination and what it does to them. It makes them want to tear down anything that's going to accelerate the consciousness. Right? It's you're dealing with the demon. You're not dealing with them. You're dealing with the negative vibration. You're dealing with the opposition. Right? They're taught that anything that is of value to them, they're taught to crucify it. Right? You got to crucify. You got to destroy. You got to break it. Right? So always be mindful of that, family. If you're learning something new today, smash that like heart button right now. We got 74 people in the room. Share to your group. Share to your loved ones, your family members and friends, and make sure you subscribe so you can get the notifications. Right? So I hope you'll learn something today from the oldest book in the world. You can help our organization by going to the Lighthouse store, purchase you some merch. I'm going to put the link in the feed right here. If you want to get your Lighthouse Tibet singing bowl and you want to vibrate with us, I showed the bowls off yesterday. They're going to be shipping this week. We are waiting for the rest of the packaging to come in, and then we're going to ship those out to all those who were the first to order. I appreciate everybody who was the first to order. What we're going to do for the product of the day. Let's pull up the product of the day. The product of the day is going to be this Rod Did hoodie, man. This Rod Did hoodie is to me amazing. I can't wait till mine come in. We got this on the Lighthouse store. Y'all can go and get that, the Rod Did hoodie. That is the product of the day. It's got the Lighthouse logo on the left shoulder. It's got the Rod Did in the middle, as you can see. And it's got our new Lighthouse logo on the right-hand side. We've been diligently working on rebranding and building the Lighthouse and getting our marketplace to where it needs to be, the one-stop shop. By the end of the day, we'll also have black soap on there. Those of you who want to order, black soap, we're going to have that on the feed. We also have these Kemetic pillows that are in, and what else do we have? Oh, the new Lighthouse power bracelets, the oil infused Lighthouse power bracelets. These ones actually infuse a sense of oil sense aroma throughout the day. It's really cool. So you take your aromatherapy, your oil, and you put it on the bracelet, on the volcanic stones, and these things will release the scent over the course of this. Really, really cool. So we have those as well. Those will be up probably within the next hour. So if you want to order, make sure you order by 4 o'clock because it's same day shipping. If you order by 4 o'clock, if you order anything off the store other than the Tibet bowls, because those are pre-orders, everything else is same day shipping. So if you want to order, go ahead to the site and go ahead and get that. This is the link right here. I'm going to give you guys time to copy that. I'm going to leave that on the feed too, so that y'all can go ahead and do that as we fade on out of here. Listen, I love y'all. I love y'all. May the divine force in me greet the divine force in you. May you manifest every heart's desire to the harm of none and to the good of all. I love you. Peace, peace, peace. I'm going to let this music run. Y'all can chop it up.
My nigga, you know the word. When I see you in the sunrise, it takes my breath away. I undress. In my mind, I'm playing honest. Really good, I'm saying. You know that time of year when the temperature's rising, yeah. No telling what you'll find, yeah, yeah. That's when them things outside, yeah, yeah. My nigga, you know the word. The nutcrackers get it wavy. Bubble houses for the babies. Got it feeling like the 80s. Summer bringing out the ladies, yeah. Must be something in the air. It's here but anywhere. Can't help but go there. That body's so unfair. Black, white, like winter fall. The vibe is not the same. Risk it all. And every brother knows you get sundressed. It takes my breath away. I undress. In my mind, I'm playing honest. Really good, I'm saying. My nigga, you know the word. Must be the way it falls on your cup.
Hold on, family. I got to come back for a second. Hold on, family. I got an announcement that we got to make tonight. If you're still on here, I see we got 60 people still on here. Tonight, we are having a Zoom call for those of you who want to go with us to Iceland on the Iceland trip. Tonight, we are having a Zoom call around, I want to say 7:30, 8 o'clock. If you are interested in traveling with us to Iceland, to the Northern Lights, to see Auroras Borealis, tap in with me, hit me in my inbox immediately so that I can get you the Zoom link for tonight that we can so that we can go over all of the information for you guys if you're looking to travel with the Lighthouse. Okay, so definitely tap in with your boy if that's something that you're looking to do. Okay, and I'm gonna let this music rock one more time. My nigga, you know the vibes.
When I see you in the sunrise, it takes my breath away. I undress. In my mind, I'm playing honest. Really good, I'm saying. You know that time of year when the temperature's rising, yeah. No telling what you'll find, yeah, yeah. That's when them things outside, yeah, yeah. My nigga, you know the word. The nutcrackers get it wavy. Bubble houses for the babies. Got it feeling like the 80s. Summer bringing out the ladies, yeah. Must be something in the air. It's here but anywhere. Can't help but go there. That body's so unfair. Black, white, like winter fall. The vibe is not the same. Risk it all. And every brother knows you get sundressed. It takes my breath away. I undress. In my mind, I'm playing honest. bro.